Brilliant lawyers Kyla Lee and John Collins have done a lot of tests and made videos here on TikTok showing you all the problems that you can have with contaminants from recent consumption of food or something else that can lead to inaccurate results on a PBT, a roadside breath tester, an ASD like I have here. And every time the police chime in and say, it would never happen that way. I'm impersonating a police officer, by the way. It wouldn't happen that way. The test would be 15 minutes later and it would never happen. So I'm just going to do an experiment for the sake of seeing whether or not 15 minutes is enough time. What I've got is I've got my timer on my iPad, and I've got some vodka in a glass, and I've got a coffee cup. And I've just shown you that I'm at 0. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drink maybe a half an ounce of that vodka. I'm not gonna actually consume it. I'm just gonna swish it around in my mouth, spit it out into the coffee cup, and start the timer for 15 minutes. Now, I'll pause the video at that point. Inevitably, there'll be somebody who says I cheat, but I'm not going to. I'll pause the video. I'll wait till the 15 minutes are up, and then I'm going to test myself again. We'll see whether or not I'm still at 0. So you're going to get to see a little bit of the action here, the spitting and so forth. Then you're going to have to wait. I'm just going to sit in the same spot for 15 minutes. I got my laptop. I'm just going to do some work. When the timer's up, I'll come back. So let's start with a little bit of vodka. I love vodka. Vodka is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So long as you're not an alcoholic, at which point it's a problem. But I'm just going to swish some around in my mouth now. See you in 15 minutes. So clear 15 minutes past. Let's see if we get any reading. There's going to be something because it's thinking. 11 milligrams. So still after 15 minutes, more than 15 minutes after I had something to drink, still mouth alcohol. There's no reason to believe that there's any other alcohol in my body because I spat it out. So is 15 minutes enough? Not in every case. And people will retain mouth alcohol longer depending on whether or not they've got an appliance in their mouth or they've got something else in their mouth, depending on how hot it is. I was breathing, it was very hot in here, so I was swallowing a lot because the heat's up and I'm wearing a sweater. We know that 15 minutes is not going to be enough in every case to clear mouth alcohol. So even though, it's something that you ate that had alcohol in it and all these police officers chime in and say, it's never going to happen like that in the real world because more than 15 minutes will have passed. It's not always 15 minutes, and even beyond 15 minutes, you will still likely retain some mouth alcohol in many circumstances, and of course it is additive to underlying alcohol. So if I'd consumed that and my underlying blood alcohol concentration was 40 milligrams, that would have put me up to 51 or something along that line. 15 minutes is not always enough to eliminate residual mouth alcohol from a last drink.